Hey, it's EfreetEater. How's it going today? Today is more tonight. It's very, very late. But I realized that today, March 11th, is actually the premiere of the new season. That's season 5 of Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack has not had new episodes since 2004, actually. So it's been quite a while. And it's nice to finally see some new episodes for it, finally see a conclusion to this series. We haven't seen the conclusion yet, but we will by the end of this season, from what I understand. Now, I'll tell you some stuff about it without spoilers, and then I'll let you know when I'm going to get into some spoilers about the episode. But basically, it was a really, really good episode. I think it's actually one of the best of the entire series. I don't know, I felt like the older episodes were kind of goofy in some ways, but this was just, like, perfect. It was very, very dark in comparison to the other ones. You see some more gore and some more, I guess, like, violent weapons, and just a very darker kind of tone to the story. As everybody knows, you know, it is still, you know, he's still in the future. Jack is still in the future, and he has not found a way home, and it is much later in the future than before. And it was great to see standard kind of Genndy Tartakovsky stuff, like these long action scenes where characters are like jumping across or jumping up, or very like emotional type scenes like that. And it was great to have Phil Lamar back as Samurai Jack. And it was just great to see the whole thing with its humor and its clever direction. The one thing that I thought was strange, and of course this had to happen, but Mako, of course, is not in the show. He passed away some time ago, and he was the voice of Aku, one of the main characters in the show. But they found like a kind of sound alike to replace him, but I think you can still really tell it is not Aku. But everything else about the show was excellent. I thought the music was really good. I thought the sound effects were really good. The animation was, I think, a little better, but I know it's digital now, and I think before it was always hand-drawn. That might not be true. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, let's get into some spoilers. So, at the beginning of the episode, you see Jack rescuing these little blue alien people from the standard, like, bugs you'd always see in the older episodes. And he rides in on a motorcycle. And he has a huge helmet. And he has this big armor. He is, really ready to go there. And he actually shoots a lot of them with like, a machine gun type of thing. And he has like some other kind of weapons too, other kind of like guns and stuff. And he has like a big halberd he uses too. And there's a lot of stuff with almost like gore, like you used to have before, where he would cut stuff in half, there'd be oil everywhere. Well, this had like almost like intestine type of things, like wires and stuff. And so he of course rescues the aliens, and then we see, you know, he tells sort of, it's like he's talking to the viewer himself about what has transpired. He says it's been 50 years. He doesn't age, and he says everything is basically worse. Like, Aku is still in power. He knows from where he is, he sees Aku is still be in power, and he knows Aku has ruined the past. And then there's a reference to the theme song where he says, "Must get back to the past, Samurai Jack." And I thought that was really clever, because I felt like it was also kind of like a reference to the nature of the show itself. Like, not the nature, the history of the show. Like, that it was gone for so long, and it's almost like we're going back to the past when Samurai Jack was on. You know, it's nostalgia and stuff. And I think this is the way, if you're gonna do something where you there's a long time in between seasons or episodes or games or movies or whatever, I think it's very effective. I don't know if it's always appropriate, but it's very effective to have time actually passed in that world also. Like if you think of Star Wars, they did a good job with that. They had time pass, and you see, of course, the older Harrison Ford and the older Carrie Fisher and the older Mark Hamill and various other characters. And they did a good job like with that with this. What I think is a really bad job of that is like Duke Nukem Forever. They could have made that really clever. They could have had Duke being very like unaware of stuff that was going on, because he's kind of always vaguely like kind of dumb. But they just didn't do that, and they just made him like this too cool for school badass, and I just think they ruined that. So definitely Samurai Jack did a great job bringing us to the future of the future. Next we see a really creepy scene, not one like you've ever seen with Samurai Jack. It's actually like almost like an occult ritual by this cult called the Daughters of Aku. And these women give birth to 7 daughters, and this leader of this group sort of calls to the statue of Aku saying, oh, we'll be with you soon, and she instructs all of these children to kill Samurai Jack. And I thought this was interesting because it's like, is Aku distant in some way? Is he gone? So then we see Jack riding around on his motorcycle, and he seems kind of troubled. He stops at a river, and he's getting some water, and then he sees visions of his family, and a lot of dead people like flood him, and he freaks out. He sees this almost like ring wraith type of shadowy rider figure, and he freaks out and he drives away. He stops at a camp. He's eating like this rat, and again he sees his father, but this time he comes out of the fire, so he almost looks like an oni. And he's telling Jack like, why couldn't you save us? Why couldn't you save us? And Jack says, well, Aku destroyed the way back. I can't get back. I want to get back. And his dad just won't have it. And again he sees this rider again, and he heads off. Then we see the daughters training. One of them looks outside, and she sees like the outside world, and it's much nicer. And then she gets beat up as a lesson. And then we see them like doing jumps. They're a little older in each of these sequences. So it makes me wonder, are they aging very quickly, or is this something that happened in the past? Or maybe there's some other explanation. But we see them doing these jumps. And the one lady, Arashi, who was the one that looked outside, she almost falls, and she's grabbing on, and her mentor is like hitting her hand. Her friend tries to help her, but she says, no, the weak aren't for Aku. And she's hitting her hand, and she says, are you weak? And she says, no. The Arashi does, and she jumps up and is able to finish it. Alright, then we go back to Jack. He ends up in these ruins, and he sees all these dead people. And then he sees this robot who is very like cocky and like flamboyant. He has very he's very like flashy, And he says, "Oh, are you Jack? Are you really Jack? And you have a beard. Like, what the heck?" And he asks Jack about his sword, and Jack has like he thinks back and how he lost his sword, and he's like freaking out kind of. But so he like tries to punch this guy, and then the robot Scaramouche, he actually plays a flute, and all these stones rise up, and they're going all around Jack, and Jack has a vision of these children, like children from his time period. And then there's a big golem, and he's fighting it, and he's throwing rocks at it, and he destroys it. And he goes up to that guy and the robot, and he breaks the flute. But the robot's able to call just by, he does like almost like scat singing, and he summons like this sword. Oh boy, it's really late, and the sword is flying around. And Jack's able to like stop it. He actually had this weird like grenade knife thrown at him. He throws it back, and then he cuts the guy in half with the sword. And then, it's like, oh, he got his just desserts kind of thing. But then we see the girls again, and they're going through their training, and there's actually, like, they stab people and stuff, and they finish it, and the mistress says, your training is complete. And she gives them each his mask, and they're each going to work under this like, uniform. And that's the end. So obviously those are going to be the main antagonists in this season against Jack. What I'm assuming is that Arashi is going to be some kind of ally. Maybe she will defeat Aku. Maybe she will give some kind of clue as to how Jack can defeat Aku. Maybe she just has some kind of secret. I don't know. But I'm very interested to find out. And we'll be back. I'll be back with more reviews about Samurai Jack and more game stuff and all that. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. We'll be back later. See ya. Have a good one. See ya.